from around the country. But a special welcome goes out to those of you that are calling in maybe for the very first time, just to get a quick understanding of what 5 Links is all about. We recognize that you were invited onto this evening's webinar because obviously someone shared with you that we're doing some pretty big things in business and there's an opportunity for you to generate some income. That is all factual. And so I want to get into this immediately, but I think it's important anytime somebody for the first time listens to another person, I think it's important you understand and get a little bit of background of who that person is. I have actually been involved in the industry now for about 16 years. The last 5 of those 16, 5.5 actually, have been with 5 Links, and it's been the best years of my career. I mean, God has been really, really good. I mean, my wife and I were very, very humbled to be able to say we've earned millions of dollars in this industry. And so I say that because some of you that might be listening for the first time, I want you to recognize that this is not little business we're talking about. This is not small business, but it's a lot of fun, and you can definitely build as much income as you'd like for you and your family. So let's get into this. First and foremost, who is 5 Links? Well, let me break that down very clearly for the new people. We're simply a direct selling telecommunications and technology company. We're excited that we've tapped into the energy market. And all we're simply doing as a company is the company has a really, really impressive business model where it will allow anybody, I mean, whether you've got experience in this, whether you are brand new and this is the first time you're listening to something like this, this company will allow you to become an independent representative, and then we will teach you how you can go out and acquire customers for the company. Now, you might be thinking, well, what good does that do for me? Well, when you get customers for the company, you begin to get paid the same way the company does, which is in the form of residual income. And the fact of the matter is, we market services that everyone is already using. I mean, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, everyone you know, and even more importantly, even people you don't know. They're all using the things that we market, like telecommunications, which is cell phones, home phones, technology like internet, satellite TV, also energy, which includes gas and electricity. Now, here's the thing that I think you might realize already. These particular bills that people have to pay are being paid every single month. And so what this does, when you become a recipient of the customer base that you've built, it creates a continuous cash flow. And so every single time someone that you don't even have to know, when they pay their bill, if they're in your customer base and you're positioned properly, you get paid a commission every single month. And I love the fact that we all know you can't pay these types of bills off, not to mention the company doesn't put a limitation on how big of a network you can build. So some people may just be thinking, well, you know what, I'd love to get paid on several people. I'd love to make money on hundreds of customers. And then some of you that are thinking a little bigger may be thinking, wow, I can get paid on thousands of people. And then some of you might have the type of mindset like we had when we got started, which is we wanted to get paid on tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and eventually millions of people that we don't even have to know personally. And that's exactly what is taking place. So I'm going to dive into this because you're going to get a chance to follow along on a slideshow that with these slides up here that will explain a little bit about the background of the company and so forth. So look at the first slide. We were founded in 2001, so obviously we're in our 11th year of operation. I mean, we're doing exceptionally well. We're way beyond let's pray we stay in business. I mean, we've been doing this for quite some time now. This year, I believe we'll probably close out the books of revenue at about 130 million. So the company knows what it's doing. But not only that, the 3 co-founders combined have about 60 plus years of experience, and over the last several years, look at the type of growth, 800%. I mean, when I always put that in perspective, when I let people know, what if your check on your job grew 50%, or what if it grew 100%, where you doubled up? Bottom line is 800% is really unheard of in business. And not only that, because of the growth, we've got a 50,000 square foot world headquarters just to house the employees that pretty much work on our behalf. And I believe all of this has taken place because they put the representatives first. And here's what that means for all of us, because I'm a representative myself, which is they understand that when you're making money, you're excited. And if you're excited, you're going to stick around. If you stick around, you're going to keep on growing. And if you keep on growing, your business is going to continue to flourish. And so that's really the reason that so many of us are doing exceptionally well. Now, here's the other thing I want you to know is you don't have to rely on the person that invited you onto this call. I want you to think about the fact that they may have gotten started let's just say yesterday, or maybe even a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Whatever it is, the bottom line is they may not be in a position to teach you what you need to know in order for you to become successful. And so you can do your own due diligence. Read about 5 links. Check out what we're doing. And I just encourage all of you, get a hold of these magazines. And the fact that we've been on NBC News, go on YouTube, go on the internet, and look at what NBC is saying about us and things of that nature. So now let's talk about why the timing is impeccable. It's because of 2 things. One, most people didn't see coming, which is the simple fact that we are in a recession, and unfortunately a lot of people are being affected by that. I'm just here to tell you that you don't have to be one of them. And so the reason I say that that's an advantage is because when people fall into situations where money starts to get tight, we naturally think about 2 things. We look for ways we can make money. We look for ways we can save money, stop spending so much. Those are just naturally the things that we do as human beings. And so the fact that we offer those very 2 things to people that get involved in this company, that's exceptional. I mean, the fact that, look, if you're looking to save some money, we can do that. You're looking to make some money, we can do that. And so that naturally happens in a recession. That's why our recruiting numbers are at an all-time high. The other reason, though, is because of technology. We have tapped into an industry a while ago called voice over IP. That's just a fancy term for digital phone service. Don't get confused about that. We've watched other areas of technology go digital, like cell phones have gone digital, cameras have gone digital, music has gone digital. So just understand now, the home phone is going digital. And so you may not fully understand all of that, but you just know, when give an example of music going digital, you're not playing cassettes anymore. You're not playing 8-track tapes anymore. I mean, you're doing CDs, and many people now are doing MP3 downloads, which are digital. So just understand that's happening in the local phone service arena. And we actually own our own VoIP company. And so the bottom line is that when you look at the fact that when you look at Global Links, we can cut the phone cost of service for people by up to 50%. 44 million households are going to be using VoIP by 2013 is what the projections are. And then we've got video capability because everything's over the internet. And this is not just for residential, but we also have phone service for businesses. And we have mobile calling apps where you can download a video calling app onto a mobile phone, cell phone, and be able to see the person that you're calling. So all of that is with our service. Now, the reason I love VoIP is because when you think about the richest person in the world, Carlos Slim, who a lot of people think the richest person is Bill Gates, and that's not correct. It's Carlos Slim. He's number 1. Bill Gates is number 2. Well, Carlos Slim actually owns a VoIP company in Mexico. So I just like to point out, when the richest person in the world is in this industry, at least it lets us know we're on the right field. We're playing in the right game. But now the other thing, though, is, as well as we've done in telecommunications, look at the fact that we've tapped into energy. Folks, that just means now we are in a position to get paid every time somebody turns on their lights. Now, I don't know about you, but that's exciting to me. Not only that, when someone cooks on their gas stove, as we deregulate, the country deregulates these different states, 5 Links is in a position to have a footprint into those states. So whether you live in a state that's already deregulated, or whether you're in one that's going to be deregulated, just continue to build your network. And I'll kind of explain to you how that works. And it'll be a benefit to you when your state opens up, if it hasn't already done so. And this is for natural gas and electricity. But now also we've tapped into every other facet of telecom technology, like cell phones. I mean, all of you have heard of the 3 carriers that we're doing business with. You've heard of Sprint. You've heard of T-Mobile. You've heard of Verizon. Well, we're doing business with all 3 of those. And we're able to give people a better deal for the actual phone that they purchase. Not only that, but we have home security systems, high-speed internet, merchant processing, satellite TV through Dish Network and DirecTV, a new service called Text Alert. And you'll learn about what all of these, you'll learn about all of these different services that we have. So, but the bottom line is when you think about how do we make our money, let's break that down. It's two things that we do. Number one is we're showing people how they can save money on services they're already using. So in other words, that first thing we're doing is acquiring customers, getting people to utilize our services. That's what you'll be doing as an independent representative. The other thing we do, and we'll teach you how to do it, is to build a team of people, build a network, be in a position where you're making money when other people that you don't even know are paying their bills. And that happens because when you got business partners in your organization, guess what they're doing, folks? They're signing up their own family members, their own friends, their own co-workers. They're getting these people to use the services. And because they are in your network, you get an overriding commission on the services that they sign up. So one of the reasons that tens of thousands of people that are in my organization have all gotten customers, it's yielding a pretty significant income that's put me in a position where I haven't had to work a job for about 11 and a half years. So I want you to get that. This is powerful. Well, 14 years actually. Yeah, 14 years. And so it's been a phenomenal ride when it comes to what this can yield. Now, look at this screen right now. It breaks down the two things that we do. Now, here's a couple of goals that we are going to set for you. When you go out and get your first 20 customer points, and I'm telling you, you got 30 days to do it. I believe you can do it in 30 minutes if you really, really sit down and get it done. But you go out and you get your 20 customer points, and if you do it within 30 days of your start date, you get a $500 bonus. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's not that difficult. I know 20 people that would love to save money on a bill they're already having to pay for every month. Well, yeah, that would be a true statement. But what I'm sharing is even easier than that, because I'm not talking about you having to go get 20 people. I'm saying 20 services. So guess what? Guess who should be your first and your best and your most loyal customer? That should be yourself. So if you were to look at all these services on the screen and just decide that you're going to sign up on these things yourself, you can end up with pretty much hitting half of the goal out of your own home. So if 20 is the overall goal, we know everybody can do it. So now that's $500. Then if you get at least your 2 business partners in within that same first 30 days and you get them their qualifying customers that help them do that, you'll get another $250. So if you stop right there and think about this, that is $750 that you've earned in your first 30 days or less, and you're just getting started. Now, I'm not saying that $750 is a whole lot of money, but I am saying to make that in your first 30 days when it's probably fair to say that you're still learning. You don't fully understand everything at that point, but that's a powerful position to be in, to make close to $1,000 and you're still learning. So here's the thing. Although that's a decent bonus, let's talk about the big money. Let's talk about what you can really build long term for your family. Now, remember the two things we do. We're getting business partners, we're getting customers. Then we teach those business partners of ours how to get their own partners and customers. So, for example, let's just say you found at least 3 people that would love to get involved in this. They don't have to live in your city, your state. They can be anywhere that we do business. So if you get 3 people involved, now this is just an example. Here's the good news. You don't have a limit to how many people you can get in the business. But let's say you get at least 3 and you stopped right there for some reason. Well, if those 3 duplicated your efforts and got their own 3, how many of you realize it turns into 9? Well, what if the 9 go get 3? Well, now it's 27 more. What if they get 3? 81 more, 243, 729. It starts getting bigger and bigger and deeper as it goes. I mean, bigger and bigger the deeper it goes down. So you can end up with thousands of people in your network, and you're just talking to different people. Now, I'll give you a perfect example. I'm not even sure if this young lady is on the phone, but I want to use her as an example just because She's doing a phenomenal job, and I'm not even sure if she realizes how well she's doing this soon in the game. But she's just recently gotten started in our business in less than 30 days. She's out in Las Vegas, a young lady named Diane Pollard. And she's been in for less than 30 days. But already today, on the book, she's got 20 business partners, and she's already at the third earned position in our team, in our company, and just doing a phenomenal job. Now, this is a young lady that is already very successful. She and her husband, they do very, very well in their own right. And so this was something that she saw as a value because of the way this money gets paid out on a residual basis. So let me give you an example. I talked about the fact that she's got 20 people in her team in less than 30 days. Let's talk about this. Let's just say it took you longer than 30 days. Let's say it took you 60 days, whatever it is. You wind up with 20 people on your team. Now, this is an example. Now, think about this. Those 20 people are going to all go out and sign their own services up. So guess what we're going to teach them to do? We're going to teach them to set a goal of getting their 20 customers. That's the goal for everybody, at least minimally 20 customers out of the gate. I say 25, but hey, listen, let's just say you get 20. Well, if everybody's getting their 20 customers, that's 400 customers right there, because 20 business partners with 20 customers, 400 customers. Now, what if you were making something as small as 50 cents on those customers? You realize that this example alone will still pay you $200 every month? Now, that's if they're all getting their services and you're earning about 50 cents on each of those. Well, here's the deal. If you can generate a couple $100 with 20 people in your team, why would you stop at 20? What if instead of stopping, you built an organization of 200 people and they got their 20 customers? If you still earn that same 50 cents, do you realize that's paying a couple $1,000s a month now? So I want you to get this, family. Look, you're making a couple grand just because your organization began to take on a life of its own. And I can tell you right now, there are many of us in this company that are making a whole lot more than that. You can move that comma over to the right and add another zero on the number and increase that number to a bigger number. And so that's hitting our bank accounts on a monthly basis regardless of what we do. Everything that we do now just increases that amount. And so I want you to get that. There are no limitations and everybody can do it. And so this is one aspect of how we get paid, which is the residual aspect. Well, you can also start to make money as you build your team. So every time a new person comes in, depending on what position you hold in our company, a bonus is paid out the following week just because someone joined your team. Now, these are people that in many cases and in most cases, you're not even introducing the business to them yourself. Of course, you're going to do that, but then they're going to do the same thing, which means you're going to always have more people coming in your organization that you don't know versus the amount of people that you do know, because this will take on a life of its own. And you start making bonuses when they get in and get their qualifying customers. And notice on the top of these blocks, as you move to the right side of the compensation, the numbers get bigger for pretty much doing the same thing. But when you get to those top positions like the vice president positions, senior vice president being the first of the top positions, well, what happens is you start getting stock options. 5,000 shares of stock options. We didn't know what that was. We didn't know what an IPO was when we first got in business. But if this company goes public, just understand that is a beautiful thing if you got 5,000 shares at the IPO price, which is called the initial public offering. That means it's less than the amount that it's going to open up. So the difference would be your profit when they go public. So now, not only that, you get up to $800 a month for a BMW payment. We just actually promoted a senior vice president in Las Vegas, Anthony Boyd. He just hit a few days ago, and he's already, shopping for his BMW and so forth. But it's a beautiful thing to know that you get up to $800 a month towards that note. So guess what the conversation was I had with him the night before last? I said, listen, man, find you a nice, beautiful BMW, but find one that has a car note of $800 a month or less. And the reason being, folks, is quite obvious. Why put your hand in your pocket for anything if the company's willing to pay up to $800? Find one where they'll cover the whole note. And so that's my philosophy, is get it for free. Not only that, but you get other bonuses, an annual vacation. You can qualify for an expense account. That's just at the SVP level, which, by the way, I teach a lot of my up-and-coming leaders. That's the beginning. The SVP position, look, don't look at that as the finish line. Don't take your breather and start celebrating. This is when you cross the threshold to really change your family's life. So this is the time to really start pushing, because after that position, oh, there's another one called Platinum Senior Vice President. And at this position, what happens is it's incredible. The first thing the company does, they show you their token of appreciation for the book of business you bring the company by awarding you with a Bentley. Now, folks, I'm telling you, I know a lot of companies out here that have car programs. I don't know any of them that are giving away Bentleys. Now, people always question, because that's unheard of in most companies, but people ask us all the time, are people really giving away Bentleys? And I'm telling you right now, the answer is yes. As a matter of fact, I was blessed to be the first person in the company to do that, but I'm way more excited, 10 times more excited about the fact that so many others have done that. I think now we're up to about 17 or 18 different people. Now, you think about this. I don't care what race, what gender, what age, what education, wherever you come from. If you can look at the top of a company and see all different walks of life, well, then you can't even remotely start to say, is this real, or can it work for you? Because if it can work for all of us, different walks of life, it can work for you as well. The one common thread, common denominator, is that we all had desire and we believed it and we put in work. We put in the action to do it. And so there are a lot of people that are getting this done in a relatively short period of time, especially comparing it to how long it takes for someone to go through the corporate career. Now, here's the deal. In addition to the Bentley, which is fantastic, they also have what's called a platinum revenue pool. And at the end of the year, which our next convention is going to be in New Orleans in January, I'm telling you, my projection, if I'm correct, they're probably going to give away close to $2 million. I know last year we split about $1.1 million, and there was 9 of us that split that. So you can imagine people are walking away with some pretty hefty bonus checks just because they committed to this and got to Platinum Senior Vice President. There's going to be a day where I think we'll have hundreds of Platinums, and there's going to be a day when there are tens of millions in that pool. And so everybody's going to be being able to have one incredible Christmas bonus at the end of the year. And that's on top of what you earn as a Platinum SVP. So now let me talk to you about how you get started, because what's unique about tonight's call, and this is what I always share this. I was in Los Angeles this past weekend, and I shared in front of a room. I said, listen, the benefit of you guys plugging into these live webinars, because we've got these presentations all over. You know, the wonderful thing about this is that you've got resources to be able to share with someone else exactly what we do, but doing that without you having to explain it yourself. So we've got websites, we've got DVDs, we've got all types of things where you can have people look at the business. However, there's nothing more powerful than a live webinar. I'm talking about, like, right now, this is live. Today is September the 24th, 2012. So we know that every bit of information you get is current and accurate. So here's the reason I say that, is because when you look at how do you get started in this business, well, if you're looking at the screen right now, you know there are 2 positions that you can start. I only want to talk about one, and that's the one on the right side called Independent Marketing Representative. As you can see right there, it says it's a $249 startup fee to start your business with 5 links. However, I believe in being forthright and giving you the whole picture up front. I don't believe in upselling people later. So here's what I'm telling you. $249, yes, that will get you in this business. That will get you your ID number. Absolutely, that's a fact. However, would you rather be in with an ID number or in the right way and in a position to start making money as soon as you start building your team? Well, for that to happen, you need to at least be what's called qualified. Qualified just means you've got to get your first couple of customers that your senior partners will walk you through. But I always encourage people, get our main product, get the Global Links product, and then get your back office website. When you do that, it's going to cost you about $125 in addition to the $249. So the magic number that I want you to remember and to know that you're going to need is $375. That's the number. Now here's the deal. In addition to that, you got to look at the fact that you can become profitable pretty quickly. So you might be thinking, okay, if I were to do this $375, Steve, what's the first goal? Well, here's what our normal quick start bonus is. And that is when you get started in our company and you just start to do the basic things that I talked about, which is you get your customers, you get your business partners. I use the example of the young lady in Las Vegas that her name is Diane. She's got 20 business partners and she's been in for I think today is like the 29th day that she's been in. 20 business partners and she's already at a position called executive director, which is our third earned position. Now, here's the thing. I want you to get this. She did that in under 30 days. Let me show you what you see on this slide. They're not saying go get 20 business partners. They're saying, look, on this slide, get your 20 customer points and get 2 business partners. Not 20, 2 business partners. But now, you can see that our normal compensation, when you do that, is $750. But I want everybody under the sound of my voice to write this down. We have a promotion that is ending tonight at midnight local standard time. So winning and support in place. I just think it's incredible that we all have the opportunity to do that. But one thing I want you to understand is get money as an issue out of the way. I always like to share this personal story only because this is what it means when you can not have an issue of money in your life. My mom turned 70 about 4 years ago. And I'll never forget calling my dad and saying I want to do something special for her. And he was thinking, well, no, she's just going to cool out, man. We don't have anything planned. And I live in Dallas. My parents live in Chicago. Long story short, I talked him into having at least a surprise dinner for my mom. But I had something up my sleeve. And I told my dad and my brother and sister, don't tell mom I'm coming in town. Let's just do this big and have her really enjoy her 70th birthday. So when she got to the restaurant and they all screamed surprise and she was all excited, then I told my brother when she gets there, call me on the cell phone because that's when I'm going to come over. So then he called and said, she's here. So I'm walking in the restaurant. Now get this, I got all this on film. You're getting ready to see it right now. I walked into that restaurant. As you can see right here in this picture, I was about 1 foot behind my mother. And I'm talking to her, and she's thinking I'm in Dallas, and I'm right behind her. So I'm saying, happy birthday, Mom. I love you. I heard you know, they gave you a surprise party. I know you guys are going to have a good time. And then I said, by the way, Mom, you look beautiful with that pink shirt on. And when she said to me, how do you know I'm wearing a pink shirt? I said, turn around, Mom. And this is what happened when she turned around. And so it was absolutely incredible. And wait, somebody said that my sound just went out. Can you guys hear me? Because I got a gentleman out in Phoenix, my buddy Anthony Hopper, saying the sound just went out. But I can see the sound on my computer, and it looks like it's coming through fine on my end. But somebody send me a text and let me know that maybe that was something on his end, because I'm looking at the speaker, the little volume thing showing that we're good. But let me know that. Perfect. Okay, excellent. And so, look, my mother was absolutely shocked when I was standing behind her. But I told you I had something up my sleeve. And so I said to my mom, I said, you know what, Mom, all my childhood and even my adult life, I remember hearing you constantly say that there was one particular item that you really wanted, and one day you were going to get it, and you loved it, and you told all your friends, I'm going to get one of those and this and that. And it got to a point where I had to realize that my mom was turning 70 years old. Like, when is she going to get this? And so I just told her, I handed her a little white box right here. And I said, Mom, never again are you going to be able to say, one day you're going to get one of these, because you got it today. Happy birthday. She did not have a clue what I was talking about. And it wasn't until she opened the box and got to the bottom, and it was a key. And you can see the expression on her face right there, because she's starting to realize, I know this isn't what I think it is. So I grabbed her hand and I said, yep, Come on, Mom, let's go on out front and let's take a look at your present. And I'm telling you, folks, when she walked out in front of that restaurant and saw a champagne gold Jaguar with a big red bow on it, she just couldn't believe it. And I had to even tell her, Mom, this is yours. Happy birthday, get in. And even when she got in the car, look at this expression, still mouth wide open. But I'm telling you, what was such a learning experience for me was when she got out of the car and just started sobbing in my shoulder and in my chest and saying this was the absolute best birthday she has ever had in her entire life. And it made me stop and think that, man, why do we wait until either A, our loved ones are up in age before we're able to really show them how much they mean to us, and not just through material things, but just in general. But then I thought about most of us wait until our loved ones are called home before we start really expressing to everyone else about what they meant to us. And I say that only because that was a learning experience for me, that I realized that it feels way better to give than it does to receive. And you couldn't have told me that and had me believe it, 10, 15 years ago. But now I get that. I understand what it means to be a servant. I understand that when God has blessed you, you turn around and you bless somebody else. That's just the way I think the world works. And so I'm not saying 5 links is the only thing that you can do to make money, but I'm telling you this with everything that's in me. This thing works. And it is unbelievable to see how many people, I don't care, black, white, older, younger, Asian, Filipino, Spanish, I don't care where you're from, every nationality, every educational level. Anybody can do it. You know why? The computer promotes you. So depending on what you do is what you get out of this. So no, you don't have a boss telling you what you can and can't do. Now, you remember I said it was $375 to get in. Well, just understand you can become profitable immediately. Let's take advantage of these bonuses. Let's do all this. Now, look, folks, make a decision. And before I close out, don't hang up yet. I normally, and the leaders are going to understand this, but I normally do a training call right after this, like 20 minutes after this. I normally would do a call at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern. However, because tonight is the last day for us to get as many people in this business as we can, I hope my leaders and colleagues understand this executive decision. But because first thing my wife said, well, maybe you can get somebody to fill in. No, everybody needs to be focusing on getting their last few business partners in before midnight. We do not need to be on a call for an hour training on something that we need to be doing. So if right now you're brand new and you're kind of wondering what to do, get with your senior partner and get with somebody that's national director or executive director and have them guide you on exactly what we need to do. But we don't have time to do anything but get as many people that we care about into this business before midnight their local time. And I know I've got so many people that we've got to get in the system that we're going to be, doing this thing for the next couple of hours, getting as many people as we can. So with that being said, we're going to do the call next week, the training call, because we got to close this thing out strong. So, but to stay in touch, to know when that next call is, when my training calls are, when the webinars are, get your cell phone out right now and text the word Steve to 55469. Put 55469 up where you would normally put a phone number. If you're going to send someone a text, just put those 5 digits. That's it. And it'll automatically put the dash in there, so don't worry about that. But then put Steve where you would normally put the message and hit send. That will keep you in the loop with everything that I'm doing. So that means you don't have to wonder, okay, well, when is another one of these webinars? Oh, wait, when are you going to do that call again? What time is that? And what's the phone number? All of that will be sent to you. Now, if at any time you want to be removed from the texting list, you can just reply with the word stop, and it will anonymously remove you from from the list. So it doesn't notify me that you've been removed or you requested to be taken off. It's just quiet and you do it on your own. But I'm telling you, it's so important to just be in the loop with everything that we're doing. So folks, hopefully every single one of you understands why I'm making this executive call. But we've got till midnight, team. So we don't have time to play around. Let's get everybody we know into the system tonight. I'll jump on that training call for like 30 seconds just to announce it to anybody that might have missed this particular webinar. I'll be on there to make the announcement, but we will not have a training call tonight because we need to be getting new partners in the system so that they can take advantage of the up to $2,000 bonus. So with that, you guys, hopefully all of you enjoyed this tonight. I love you. Let's rock and roll, and let's take 5 links to the next level, everybody. I'm Steve Carter signing off. Get as many people as you can in the system, folks. Let's do it. Take care.